Hi, I'm Jessica G, and this is the Just in Time podcast. If you're struggling today, I want you to know this podcast is here for you, but it's not a substitute for professional help. If you're in a crisis or feel unsafe, please call or text 988 or dial 911 for immediate support. There are people out there who will listen and can help. On this show, I'll be sharing personal experiences, mindset shifts, talking with key experts, and sharing real tools that help me go from barely surviving to thriving. This is not about quick fixes or one-size-fits-all advice. It's raw, it's honest, it's what worked for me and what I believe can help others too. Let's walk together from darkness to hope. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Just in Time podcast. We are so excited to be here. Today, we are going to talk about mental health in the salon industry. We all know that, clients come to us, sit in our chair, tell us all of their problems and their issues. And we as stylists, absorb a lot of that energy. Not only that, today we're going to get into assistants, new stylists, new salon ownership, and the hardships that come with all of that. And today we have Rex Paxton. Thank you so much for being here, Rex.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So Rex is a trichologist. He owns 4 different hair salons. He's been in the industry for 19 years. And I really admire him because I see so much strength in him. There have been several times when I first opened my salon and I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. He had already been there, done that. And I called him basically crying, going, I don't know if this is for me. And he's kind of encouraging me to, hang in there, you got this, and has kind of helped me along my journey. And so we're super excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So as a salon owner, what do you think is the most silent form of anxiety new stylists deal with that kind of nobody talks about?
I think as a new stylist, speaking from my own experience 19 years ago, I think mine was what I like to refer to as top of the game, but you're the little fish in a giant pond. So we graduate from cosmetology school, we get our license, and we're the top of the game in school. And then we get into a salon and we don't know anything. Right. And sometimes we don't have nice people in the salons that we're working in as a new stylist. And they want to give us the school of hard knocks. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
And so I think initially the challenge for a new stylist is how to fit in and how to have a voice and not to allow others to bully you into thinking that you aren't worthy to be there. That you need to do the low task on the totem pole. I'm all for everyone jumping in and doing everything that needs to be done in the salon.
Yeah.
Not above cleaning a toilet.
I was about to say, I cleaned the toilet last week. Exactly.
You have to do all those things regardless of where you are in the industry, especially if you're a salon owner. But as far as new stylists that are starting out, I think it is being able to use your words and open your mouth and establish that I am here and I want to learn.
Yes.
And I think that is also part of the challenge is when new stylists don't open their mouth and they don't use their words and they want to be coachable and they want to learn and they just don't say anything. Sometimes I think they get bruised by those that have been in the industry for a while.
And, I think we probably have both experienced that. I mean, there's a lot of toxic salons. And I mean, I've had salon owners tell me things and treat me a certain way. And I look back at it now being a salon owner and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I never want to be like that, And I think it comes twofold. It's like the culture that we create within a salon makes, I think, stylists feel more comfortable to come to you and tell you. And I always say, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for progress. I just want to see that you are growth oriented and you're putting one foot in front of the other.
Exactly. I don't believe in perfection. It is never going to be.
Exactly.
And I think in my salon, I try to establish with everyone, I am an open book and I'm also open to conversation, right? I want to help you get to where you want to go. Let's work on goals to get you there.
Yes.
And we need to have that open communication and feel comfortable going to the salon owner
Yes.
And for myself as a salon owner to also go to my team and say, hey, I've noticed whatever that is that you've noticed, and be able to have that fluid, open, honest communication with one another so that you can help them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the industry falls short, in that owners aren't wanting to take care of the team, whether they're an employee stylist or an independent stylist. To me, it doesn't matter. They're all part of my team. And I want to help all of them achieve their goals.
Yeah.
Whether it be emotional support that's needed, mental support that's needed, financial support that's needed, by helping them with opportunities within the salon.
Yes.
I think that in the industry, we need to be more conscientious of the need of others. Yeah. And as an owner, I think it's also important that you realize what your needs are as well.
I was going to ask you, I was going to go into that because you kind of like led me there. So, you know, as I hear you speak about this, your heart is so in it and you want to help your team and you want to see people grow. I'll ask you two different questions. One, when you've put effort into somebody and you're like, hey, let's work on XYZ, you give them a deadline. Let's say they don't do any of those things. They haven't met their deadline. They come to you and they're saying, hey, I'm struggling with my mental health. What do you do?
Awesome. So I'm going to answer it in two different ways.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
I have those that have that open, honest communication channel with me that will come to me and say, I can't do it. And then I get into, okay, why can't you? And one of my favorite questions is why. Mm-hmm. So I may ask you why, and you give me some information, and then I ask why immediately. Because what you first regurgitated to me is not the answer to the question. So you have to keep digging further by just asking why. And eventually, you'll get to the why.
Yes.
And when you get to the why, then there's action that can take place.
Correct.
But until you actually get down to the nitty gritty as to why they're struggling with whatever it is, you can't help them.
Yeah.
Right? At the same time, I also have people on my team, many in fact, that don't even realize that they're struggling.
Right.
But I can see it. Right? Been in the industry long enough. And I think, unfortunately, in this industry, we are people pleasers, number one. Number two, we think we need to do it perfectly. We make excuses for every little tiny thing that we see that the client might not even see at all.
Guilty.
So we just literally are saying, oh, I'm so sorry. If this bothers you, I'll do it all over again. Like there's just this negativity that happens. So when I see team members, whether they are...
I think that's the artist in us.
It is.
Yeah.
We want it to be perfect. And
we do.
The beautiful thing about our industry is the work is never done.
Yeah. And we care so much. I think hairstylists, good hairstylists, like we care so much about our clients.
And I think part of that is because we have a license to touch as an industry. And because we have that license to touch, we are sometimes, I always get emotional when I talk about this, but sometimes that client that's sitting in our chair, that is the first time that she or he has been touched or listened to since they were in your chair 6, 8, 12 weeks ago.
Right.
Even if they have relationships at home.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get so drawn into our client that we feel like we have to be perfect for them because nothing else in their life is perfect.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're putting too much pressure on ourselves, and that just isn't how it needs to be. But that's what happens. Yeah. Right? So some of my team members don't even know that they have challenges. So I will pull them in and say...
Or know that you're absorbing all that. Right. It just naturally, it's just something that kind of naturally happens.
Yeah. So with my team members that don't recognize that they're not able to meet the challenges of the tasks before them, I'll call them in and we'll just have a heart-to-heart. And let's say, hey, everything's good. Let's put the defenses down. Let's just talk open and honest with one another. Yeah. And I just literally say, are you finding joy in what you're doing? Yeah. And usually that just literally makes them melt. Yeah. Because it shows that I care, and I do. And it allows them to say, okay, I'm going to open up. And then they start to open up. And so as the salon owner and as a team leader, I encourage people, hey, you know what? You've got to take care of your mental health. Because if you are not mentally strong, you cannot be mentally strong for others that are sitting in your chair or who are relying on you, whether you're an assistant, a co-stylist, an independent. You can't do the job.
Well, and this job is so demanding, not only emotionally, but physically. We're standing on our feet all day. We're working with chemicals. We're absorbing other people's energy. And I did this one workshop, and because I was really struggling, I wasn't getting burnt out, but I felt just like a workhorse, and I was kind of everyone's emotional punching bag, People just come in and tell me all of their problems and all of their things. And I didn't know how, as an earlier stylist, or maybe even like 5-10 years in, I did this for a very long time, and I would hold on to that, and I would go home and I would think about it. And then I would wake up with them all night and I would think about this person. And then I would feel so bad about this person. The next time I saw them, I would give them a free haircut, and I would emotionally discount, because I felt for this person. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize, but over time, like you were saying, like when you brought that stylist, it's so good that you can pinpoint that and see that in other people. A lot of people that are in, suites or this and that, like they don't always have that opportunity, or not every salon owner is like that. So, we're really fortunate to have you in this community to, hey, pull somebody aside and to kind of say that. And what I ended up doing was, if I felt really overwhelmed or intense, I would say, okay, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, because we bring home so many other of our clients, like energy and feelings and emotions. How do you like kind of drop that? Because I feel like you are really good at this, honestly. Like, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I look up to you. And I believe like Nikki also she's like, I don't know, ask Rex, And I'm like, help me, because I think, and even dealing with new stylists too, as a salon owner, stylists come to you and you're the fixer. And, like you said, we're people pleasers. Like, how do you not get burnout, and how do you keep up with your mental health as well? Because for salon owners and this time that we're going through, like the industry is just evolving and changing so fast. And like, salon owners, they've got to make changes. And like you were saying, the way that you treat people, the way that you talk to people, it doesn't need to be the school of hard knocks like we went to. Mm-hmm. How do you also like protect your own mental health too? Because you can pour so much into somebody. And I think, I'm kind of speaking from my own experience here. And this is when I had called you when I was really, really struggling. I mean, I was crying every night, a couple years after opening the salon, like really struggling with my mental health. And I called you a couple of times, and I was like, it hurts so much when you will pour into somebody and they leave you in such a rough way, or unprofessional way, I guess you could say it. And I know, we've all had this have happened. That's why Nikki was like, talk to Rex. Like, he's so much better at it. And this is why I couldn't do it. And at one point I was like, I don't know if salon ownership, do you remember me calling you?
I do.
I was like, I don't know if salon ownership is for me. I was like, this is so hard on my heart. But I've pushed through and I've got more educated and have done more leadership classes. But I just look at you and I'm like, how does he do it? Because you run such a big team, but how do you take care of you and not like blur that line between that caring so much that it affects you so much?
Yeah. I think there are several ways that I've learned over the years to take care of me, even prior to being a salon owner. You don't have to be a salon owner to be a leader in a salon.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been that to a lot of people for a long period of time. I don't know if it's like male versus female. Like, I don't know that that's what it is.
I did wonder that too. I'm like, is it because he's a guy and he's tough? I don't know.
Like it's that way, but sometimes I feel pretty weak. And so a lot of people look at me and like, oh, he handles so much. I'm like, yeah, I can, and I do. Yeah. And I've been that way since high school. Like, oh, just take it, do it. I'm the yes guy.
Yes.
Yes. I can do it until I can't. And so I recognize that and I understand that. And so some of the things that I do to protect myself and my box is my car is my safe place. So when I get done at the end of the day, I go to the car.
Do you just sit in it?
I sit in my car. No music. I don't turn it on, even if it's cold. I don't turn it on. Phones are away. Like, I don't.
I think high achieving professionals have such a different way to deal with burnout.
Yeah. And so I just like take it in. I do some breathing exercises, lots of breath work. I do that because otherwise I might pretend I might be in a demolition derby thinking that I need to, take care of everybody that was in my way in the street, take anger out on wrecking into people's cars that I would. But that's kind of what the energy feels like. And so for me, I do reading. I have a coach that I deal with mental issues.
Yeah.
We meet every other week virtually. So she helps. I've always thought to myself and have been trained, like, you can't bitch down. So I can't go to my team.
Yes. No.
And I can't go lateral either. Like, I literally have to either go to another salon owner, and I don't know that I want to go to a salon owner necessarily where we all live. I want to go somewhere else. Like maybe, and I don't know why, that's just what I do. So for me, I have to have somebody to pour out to and let go. And I have to feel comfortable with them and have to feel secure with them in order to, if I need to cry, I'm going to cry. If I need to yell, I'm going to yell. If like whatever it is, I have to get that mental anguish, emotional anguish out. Because if I don't, it goes to my team.
Yeah.
And I can't have that. I don't want that. That's not what I'm about. That's not what our team is about.
Yeah.
It's all about uplifting. Everybody rises together.
Yeah.
Very positive. Is it always positive? No, it's not. We're human, right? Yeah. But I have to do my part as the leader.
There's a fine line between correcting somebody. I think you probably see this in the industry. We're hiring 19, 20, 21-year-olds right out of school sometimes. And when you correct them, sometimes they think you're being mean, and you're like, no, this is this is professional criticism. Mm-hmm. And so I think we're seeing that a lot right now with baby stylists in the industry. And that's why I always say, hey, you've got to be coachable and you've got to have a grit. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like yell at you, but I'm going to give you deadlines. And if you don't do them, like, maybe you're not a good fit for the team.
Right.
And I think having those conversations as a salon owner for me was really hard. And I was like so afraid because I wanted everyone to like me. Right. Sure. And I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and you're like, I don't care if they don't like me. I have to be, be the person that they need me to be. And I believe a long time ago when we had talked also, you said some people just need more structure. And I'll never forget that. And as you were right about that. And that was one thing that I was lacking. I didn't have enough structure, and I was trying to be friendly and buddies with people versus being their boss and being a leader. That's like, it's one thing to be a hairstylist, and then it's a whole other thing to be a salon owner and a business owner. So, yeah.
100%. I think that in our industry, we have to strive to make it normal to not be friends with everybody that works for us.
Yeah. It's so hard when you're stylists because you get so close with each other.
Yep.
We were also talking about that, trying to create that separation. Salon ownership gets personal because we work so closely with our teams. How did you learn to stop taking those betrayals or blindside moments so personally when things like that would happen?
So for me, I have an understanding that not everything is for everyone forever.
Yes.
Nothing is forever in this world.
Yeah.
Right? Life isn't even forever. So I would 100% expect that there'll be changes in the team. For whatever reason, we might not be a fit anymore. Yes. Right? It might be because you're moving. It might be because your life has changed. Maybe you've become a parent, or maybe you have become a parent to 3 because you got married to somebody that had 3 children. So life changes. And so it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit anymore. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean that I need to take it personally. And sometimes we take things personally because it's our business and it's our livelihood. And so when they go away, it's like, oh, there's that hole, there's that void.
Yeah. But it's also how somebody leaves too. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today too is like, when you find a salon owner like yourself or like me, it's somebody that is, putting their heart, their hard work on the line. They care about your career path, not just numbers. They care about you as a person. How are you? How is your mental health? Checking in and actually creating a career path, for your employees or for your stylist. I think it's very important for new stylists to remember that how you leave, how you show up to work, and then also like how you exit, how you leave is so important. Also for the salon owner's mental health as well. And I think there's not enough accountability in that, because as tough as I can be, as educated as I can be, as I can get a mentor and I can do all these things, at the end of the day, there are still things that also hurt salon owners that do invest time, energy, and money into that. And, that's the risk that we take. We are in a high turnover industry. But I want to stress that out. So if you're a stylist and you are thinking about leaving a salon, make sure you do it in a respectful, kind way. Now, if you have a toxic salon owner, try to leave in the most respectful way that you possibly can. But for salon owners that just, that they care about you, but you just can't meet the standard or you can't rise to that standard, just leave in a respectful way. I think that is something that's kind of lacking in these younger generations is respect.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't think it's taught nor learned.
Yeah.
I think it takes much longer. I don't know what happened to the world. I think a lot of us blame COVID for a lot of things. It's COVID. COVID did that. But something has happened where people feel like it's okay to not respect others for any number of things, right? Whether it's that you feel like this isn't a fit for you in the salon or how you respect and talk to others that you come across in your daily comings and goings, right?
Yeah.
You just need to respect other people.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to agree.
Yeah. Or even like what somebody said or did or this and that. But at the end of the day, look at the whole picture. Look what that person has done for you. Like I always say when I feel much more protected now because I have more leadership skills and I've learned not to take things as personal and I've gotten better about hiring. But there's just some things in life that you cannot, they're just going to happen. Betrayals are going to happen. Things are going to happen. People are going to make you out to be the villain. I know you've been there.
Yep.
With salon owners or stylists that have left because you held a standard. They didn't meet it. And so now you're the bad person.
Right.
And I think for me, that was the hardest part in this industry. And I really struggled with that. How did you, when people made you out to be the villain because they didn't rise to your standard, how did you deal with that or internalize that? Or if there's a salon owner out there that's listening and that needs to hear this, because I know we're all out there. I know this has all happened to every single salon owner almost. It's so common and I wish it wasn't. What would you say to that person out there that just maybe went through a big betrayal that really invested into a team member and they left just very disrespectfully or just cutthroat?
Yeah. I think there's a couple different ways.
Yeah.
For me, if you don't have somebody that you can go to, a mentor or a coach, even though I have that in my life, I do a lot of journal and burn.
Yeah.
So I'll write down all my feelings, all my emotions, just everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the whatever. And I literally rip that out of a journal and I burn it.
Okay. So number 1, mentor. Number 2, journal and burn.
Journal and burn. It works.
Yeah.
And it works for a lot of areas in my life.
Yeah.
Right. I don't need anybody to find the journal later in life or whatever, because it doesn't need to be kept written down. To me, I think there's energy. Yeah. Obviously, when you're burning it, when you rip it out, that's one.
Yeah. I'll like delete text messages if someone was like ugly or
I used
whatever.
to do that, and then I accidentally inadvertently hit send. And so that doesn't really work for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally have to write it. The action of ripping it out takes some of that off of you, and then we actually light it up and burn it. Yeah. You can literally sit there and just let it all come out as you see it.
This is a good team building exercise, actually, for like anything that happens in life. I like this.
Yes. So
we need a bonfire in the fall.
Yeah. Bonfires. Those are probably the biggest ways for me is a mentor / coach, rip, journal, rip, burn.
I love that.
And then other than that, finding what helps you become clear.
Yes.
Some of us, that might mean taking care of yourself with self-care.
Yes.
That might be get my lashes done. That might be get my makeup done. Might be get a blow dry. That might be get color blocking done. It could be any number of things. You just have to know what that is, and you have to get that done. Yeah. Right? And so I will caution and say sometimes the massage becomes not an actual massage where you're letting things out. It becomes a talking session with your massage therapist. So for me, that means you actually need a mentor, coach, therapist,
Yes.
not a massage therapist, because you're not really getting a massage.
I totally agree with you, because I think that was the missing piece for me at the time, is I didn't have a mentor, and I got a mentor. Shout out to Lacey Gibo. I love you so much. You helped me so much. I remember listening to her podcast, and she had talked about, these things that salon owners go through. And, we pointed out all the things that I was doing wrong and how to make me better. And we pointed out the betrayal too, right? And sometimes things go hand in hand, and there's some things that just should have never happened, and it hurt you so bad. But I will say that catapulted me to be a stronger, better version of myself as far as business goes, right? Personally, I'm just a big teddy bear and a moosh ball. Which doesn't always work well in business. And I think that's I think maybe you're I don't know, is it a guy thing or what? But I still don't know, but it's probably just more personality thing. Having a little bit more of that grit. And I think the other thing too, it comes down to is experience. But I think having that mentor is so important. And that's kind of what helped me heal and make my salon better, grow a team and a culture. And like you said, get clear with yourself, right? That's such good advice, because that's kind of been the last 3 years of my life was, healing, getting clear with myself, creating culture, the type of culture that people really want to work in and they can thrive in, and not overgiving. I was overpaying. I, paid people and I didn't get paid. I mean, there was so many things that I was doing wrong as a business owner that terrible experience. So if you're out there and you're going through, some type of betrayal or somebody left or this and that, and they did you wrong or whatever it is, look at that as opportunity. And at the time, it can feel absolutely awful. I mean, I cried myself to sleep for months, and I called you so many times, but instead of giving up, which I almost did, I almost gave up.
You did?
Yeah. And instead of giving up, I found a mentor, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to give it another year, and I'm going to put one foot in front of the other. I'm going to do what my coach and what my mentor says, and I'm going to hang in there. And it's gotten so much better. But I think that's the point where most salon owners give up, is when they go through that hard time and they go, I can't do this anymore, and,
right.
And that's twofold, because I think, it's another stylist that we know. She was like, this isn't for me. And she was able to, and my coach always tells me that. She's like, at the end of the day, salon ownership is not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And so kind of knowing that and going through that journey, I'm grateful for, it's even though it was one of the hardest things I had ever gone through, I'm grateful for it, because it made me so much stronger today. So,
and I think that's great. I think as salon owners and even as stylists, we need to give ourselves grace.
Yeah.
And understand we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Until we are slapped with it in our face. And okay, that's what that feels like. And that's what that means.
And it wouldn't have hurt so bad, Rex, if we didn't care or love so deeply.
Right.
That's the thing, right? Because if we didn't, there wouldn't have been tears at night. There wouldn't have been that, It would have been you're just another number, whatever. But that's not us,
That's thing. And I've also learned through listening to Brené Brown, one of my all-time favorites. And that's why I got it tattooed on my body a long time ago.
Let them.
You just have to do that.
Yeah.
And this is a thing. And I watch this. I literally, when I'm struggling and I'm sitting in my car,
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins.
You said Brené Brown. I was like, wait a minute.
She's also good. Mel Robbins.
Yes, we love
when
that.
I see this, I'm just like, oh, yes, I just need to let that be. And I am now learning the concept of let me.
Let me?
Mm-hmm. So the concept is with let me is I have to do what's good for me too. I can't just let them and not let me.
You're so
I
right.
have to do both. And when you don't do both and you're not balanced in both ways of thinking,
yes,
that's when somebody's going to get knocked down.
I want to dig into this a little bit more, but I want to bring up suicide loss survivors really quick, because this kind of reminds me of that. And when somebody dies by suicide, sometimes you completely forget about yourself and you make your whole life about the person that died, and you forget about yourself. So I love let them and then let me. So can you explain to me a little bit more of what let me means to you?
So for me, I am a giving person. I will give you almost too much over and over and over, right? That's how I'm wired. That's what I do to a fault. And I've had to learn in salon ownership in the last 4 years that I also have to have room for me, and I have to take care of me as much as I'm taking care of others. And sometimes it feels selfish to do the let me, because I'm like, oh, but everybody else needs me too.
Yeah.
So it's very, very challenging to carve out that time for you and to let me. Yeah. Let me have my moment. Let me have my tears. Let me have my struggle. Let me have my emotion. Let me have my fear. Let me have my anxiety. Let me have my celebration of the thing. Let me have this opportunity that's been given to me, and let's everybody celebrate one another.
Yeah.
Versus let me just do for everybody else by letting them.
This reminds me of one thing that my coach had brought up last week in one of our meetings. And she said, it's okay to be vulnerable in front of your team. That's kind of how they learn. Now, there's levels to that, of course, but it shows that you're also human as well. And, there's times where I'm just like, I'm sorry, I messed up. That came out wrong. I shouldn't have said it like that. You know what I mean? When you're, in the mix and you're, trying to get this color on, you've got a haircut over here and this person's smudging and you're like, pick up the pace, and you may question yourself, did that come out too strong or this or that? But I think, because what I'm hearing you say is like, you have to take care of yourself too. But part of that is like being vulnerable, and that's admirable. And a lot of people are not that way. We just put up walls and, but when that comes from the salon, like the ownership down, like that energy trickles down.
It does. I had somebody that was a coach. She's still a very good friend of mine, does a lot of media for me. She coached me starting about 10 years ago. And she said, you need to become more vulnerable. And I was like, I do not. I am not. Because I had such a wall up. Because I was protecting myself. And it took me a long time to become vulnerable. Now, my team has seen me cry, get emotional. And sometimes I'm like, why am I getting emotional right now? I don't understand. And so rather than fight it, I just let it come out. Because it's authentic and it's real. It's me. So let me have that vulnerability. Let me have that emotion. And whoever sees it, sees it. Yeah. It shouldn't matter.
We're human too.
It's me.
It's like, yes, we're running a business, but we're human too.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think when your team sees you and when other salon owners see you be vulnerable in that way, it softens everyone to understand, okay, they are struggling with something too because they've allowed themselves to become vulnerable.
What mental patterns do you see behind the chair with like new stylists that they may do a haircut and it's actually not that great, but you want to encourage them, not to give up, but, to continue practicing. How do you coach a new stylist through that? Because I feel like a lot of new stylists, they get in 1 or 2 years, they mess up a couple of highlights, they mess up a couple of haircuts, and they're like, this, exactly. This isn't for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's sad because it's like, oh my God, we see as salon owners, we see the potential and we know we've made those mistakes, but we didn't give up. How do you coach them with that?
For me, I start earlier than when they're behind the chair with the client.
Yeah.
Right. When they start bringing in models, there's that conversation. So I have asked whether you are a co-stylist / assistant with me, or you're a newer stylist is put onto the floor. My question to them at the end of every single service, and they know they need to send back to me, what 3 things did you learn from that service? It could be the celebrations, but it can also be the learns.
Yeah.
Right? And the learns are the things that maybe we had challenges with. And then they are supposed to follow up with, what 3 things do you need to learn from that? Right? Yeah. So mine is, constantly knowing this is what is happening with my team and this is who's taking this highlight for the first time, or this is the second time they've done a highlight since the one that was really bad and that I had to redo, and they had to stand there and watch me redo it, right?
Yeah.
So it is constantly asking, what have you learned from the service today?
Yes.
Or what did you learn from assisting today? And what 3 things do you want to learn that you haven't learned at this point?
Yes.
So it's just having that constant open communication with your team.
Yeah.
And then feeling like, oh, you are interested. Yeah. It's not just when there's a challenge. Mm-hmm. And it's not just when, hey, I hit $2,000 this week.
Yeah.
It's not just the celebrations. Yeah. It's not just the challenges. It's tell me everything you're learning and what do you need more coaching about?
And the thing is with new stylists, I think they can get so overwhelmed because when they get out of school, they barely know how to shampoo and blow dry.
It's terrible.
Getting the color out of the hair. I mean, it's something I think that we as salon owners, we work really hard to make sure, because it's like if there's a little bit of hair color, that ruins the whole blowout. The client's got to go room and redo it all over again. And that sets their day 30, 40 minutes behind sometimes. And I think that being an assistant is not easy.
Nope.
It is not easy. I remember my days as an assistant. I worked in Beverly Hills at Rodeo Drive for Jose Bear. I worked for Reeve. And it was such a high level. I remember Scarlett Johansson's mom was in there, and there was a lot of plastic surgery, and there were stitches behind the ears. And I think it was like 20 or 21 years old. And it was my first job. And I remember shampooing, and I was afraid to get the stitches wet, right? But then also trying to scrub hard enough to get the color out because, super thick hair. And I remember I didn't get the color out, and it turned into this big deal. And I went into the bathroom and I could not breathe. It was the first time I had a panic attack and an anxiety attack. I didn't know what one was, actually. I could not catch my breath and I could not stop crying. I opened the door. I look at Reeve. I grab my purse. Okay. Stumble out of Rodeo Drive. I have to walk like 4 blocks because it was, instead of $30 for parking, it was only $10 down here. It was like a super hot summer day. I parked way on the top, so my car was like super, super hot. I finally get into my car, and I passed out in my car, and it was probably like 102 degrees that day. I woke up. I was drenched in sweat. I could finally breathe. I proceed to drive home. My vision was like so blurry. I had no idea. I was 20 years old, not really knowing what was going on. That was my first anxiety attack. And it wasn't like my boss did anything wrong. You know what I mean? It was just the stresses and demands of the job too. The expectations. And there was nothing wrong with what he was expecting me to do whatsoever. It just was too much for me at the time. I got in the car, gave all my stuff away, told my landlord that I was driving to Arkansas and taking a break. I took a 3-month mental break. I drove back here. Got 2 speeding tickets on the way, by the way.
What the hell?
I know. And I got here, and I was here for like 3 months. I think I worked at Chili's or something. And I thought, what am I doing with my life? But I didn't know about mental health. I think, I don't know, 20 years ago almost, nobody talked about mental health. Nobody talked about,
It was taboo.
Yeah. It was like, buck up. What's wrong with you? What, you can't handle it? We'll find the next person. Yeah. But my Reeve was actually so nice to me. He was like, what happened? What happened? And, as an assistant, you're not making that much money. I think it was in 2009 when gas was $5 a gallon. And I think minimum wage was $8.75. And it was $10 a day, just apartment car, right? Mm-hmm. It was tough. We're talking about paying your dues, but, every industry has that. And I always say Arkansas is such an easy place to live. You don't have to pay for parking. Yes. Exactly. Not yet. Wait, do you over here up to Pinnacle Heights have to pay?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I know you don't work there, but you're like the Pinnacle Heights there.
Oh, I
where
think
Empty Hair Labs and all that is. Do the businesses have to, or do the clients that go there have to?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And the parking structure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So far you don't have to. But anyways, and I thought, what am I doing? So 3 months later, I was like, I'm not giving up. Ravy was like, you can get your job back. Come on back. So drive all the way back. This time I decided not to live in Mar Vista. I decided to live way closer to work, but it just goes to show that sometimes I think it just goes to show that mental health is so important, right? And me not knowing what an anxiety attack was, I didn't even know what that was until 10 years later, actually, because I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't tell them my symptoms. It was, I don't know. It's like people just started talking really about mental health. We're scratching the surface with it. And I think it's, like you said, it's so important. You said let them, but also let me, taking care of yourself. And I think when you're new too, it's like, yes, you want to go hang out, but there's so many different things that you have to learn as a new stylist, shampooing, blow drying, you want to test out for highlighting, haircuts, and there's different standards. You've got sports clips all the way up to luxury salons like yours. And there's a different standard for each one. And some people, it may be too much for that person, right? And that's why there's different salons for everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I think it's about finding the right fit too. Like you said, the right culture, finding the right fit. Like I might not be a good fit for one person, but you might be a better fit for that person, And I think it's important that we all work together. And I love that you stopped by the salon the other day and was like, hey, you've got Mill Vaughn. It's an extensive line. If you need any help, let me know. And that really touched my heart. And all the girls at the salon, I thought that was cool. But I don't know why. I don't know if it's in this area, but a lot of people, I just feel like they're just in competition. But there's enough for everyone.
I just think competition is silly myself.
When you're at the top, you're collaborating.
Yeah, I am my competition. I'm not anybody else's competition.
That's right.
I don't want to. I only knew that you had Milbon because the rep told me that you had Milbon. I was like, oh, I'm going to go stop by because it was completely overwhelming for me. I was like, yes, I'm going to go just stop by.
We have 100 new shampoos in the back bar. You would come, I think we were just unboxing.
Yeah, you were. And I remember the day of unboxing and I had to do that 3 times over.
Right.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think that it's just silly that anyone in our industry is trying to be competitive with either someone else within the salon or someone across the road or in another town. It just isn't necessary. Have you walked around the town and looked at the hair that you see? There's plenty of people that need their hair done by good stylists.
And I think it comes from a survival mindset too. When you're in a state of abundance, or a mindset of abundance, you're not worried about that, So I'm always just worried about myself and what I'm doing. And there's enough problems that I have to take care of that I'm not worried about anyone else. But when I meet another stylist, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to talk to you. Just like you said, you can't bitch down. You've got to find another salon owner and talk about the struggles that you're facing as well.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it isn't that you even get to the point of talking about the struggles. It's just being together and knowing there's not going to be any judgment here. Yeah. We can just talk about what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
But I truly believe in community versus competition.
Yes.
There's no reason that in your community, wherever you are, that you all just can't get together as salon owners.
Yeah. I love that you hold classes and you invite everybody else, from different salons. I think that's great. I think just people are scared. So.
And I don't know what you're scared of. I'm the nicest asshole there is.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was when you have a stylist come to you and they say, "Hey, I'm really struggling with my mental health." We kind of talked about 2 things, right? We are not their therapists, right?
Right.
And a lot of salon owners, I think, will try to be their therapist. And I'm even guilty of this in my early salon, when I first opened the salon, right? Because we want to help people. But I think I reached a point where, and I think talking to you the other day, I kind of realized this. And even with my therapist and then my coach also, she's like, you're not their therapist. It's as much as we want to help people, we're not your therapist. So when people come to you and they're struggling with their mental health, I remember that you were like, let's get you in touch with somebody that can help you. Here's a number to a counselor. Maybe this job isn't the right fit for you at this moment.
Right.
it's funny because one of our other podcasts is going to be about the corporate environment and reaching out. I think, some people are really scared to reach out and say that they're struggling because they don't want to lose their jobs, or they don't want, to think that they're incapable. But I think it's really important for stylists, if you are struggling with your mental health, if you do have, thoughts of suicide, that it is important to, go to your salon owner and say, hey, I'm really struggling right now. It's affecting my work performance. And chances are, the salon owner, like you said, you've noticed when you see people struggling, but it's a lot of responsibility for that stylist to reach out and communicate with you, kind of what we talked about in the beginning of this podcast, that I'm struggling. So I want to encourage like new stylists that are struggling with their mental health, because sometimes as salon owners, we take things personal when it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with that person's mental health. And so if the job is too much for them at the time, I think it's what you're saying. You're like, hey, let's get you in contact with this person. Or if you're struggling, call 988. But just kind of reach out and get the help that you need and not be afraid of that.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone struggles. Yeah. Sometimes we struggle more in this time of life versus another time of life. Yeah. And there's no shame in that. Yeah. I think you're brave to be able to come forward and say, hey, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
And just like I've referred to, let them and let me, you also have to remember when you're letting them, that you have to let them be.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to be on both sides of whatever's happening.
Because you're a business owner at the same time, you care about these people, but then they're struggling with like maybe a mental illness and you want to get them help. And so, sometimes that can be like a hard place to be, because you feel for the person, but you still have a business to run. So I think the answer to that, what we talked about, is like not trying to be their therapist, but getting them resources and the help that they need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have an awesome physician that I refer people to if they want to make that appointment and go through the process of determining if they have anxiety situations.
Yeah.
And if they need something for that. I also have therapists and psychotherapists. Like, there's so many resources that are available to them. And I think sometimes as a new stylist, when you don't have insurance, when you don't have resources, you're scared because you don't know how it's going to come about. There are ways in which your mental health can be taken care of, as long as you're willing to put forth the work yourself and come forward and be brave about it.
And #ROAR, we're going to start using that. ROAR is for the lion, for just in time, and it means reach out and rise. Justin, he was a Sigma Pi, and his fraternity was suicide education and prevention. So I think it's important for everybody to be able to reach out. And like you said, if you reach out, you're brave. It's not showing weakness. It's actually showing bravery. And you're an example to the people that are behind you that may also be scared. Thank you so much for being on this show today. I mean,
Thank you.
And to all the stylists out there and salon owners, I give you all the light and the love in my heart. Keep going. Don't give up, and find yourself a mentor. And I hope that this podcast and helped you today, and the things that Rex shared with you. Thank you so much for being vulnerable. Yeah. Hopefully that this touched somebody's life. And right now, we actually need some help to help promote the show. So if you would like tag a friend, share this on your platform. And like I said, if you're struggling, please dial 988. Or if you're in a crisis, you can always dial 911. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
If you're struggling, remember, how you think is how you feel. If your feelings feel heavy, start by shifting the thought. You're not stuck. Your brain can change. So can your story. I'm Jessica G. This is the Just in Time podcast, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep going, never give up, and remember, the world is better with you in it, whether you believe it or not. To help reach others, please share this with your friends, family, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and donate.